So today, Travis Blaize, offensive coordinator of Vermilion Catholic, has been coaching for 10 years. 5 of those have been as a coordinator. In 2018, he averaged 37 points a game. In 2019, it was 39 points a game. And this past season, it was 44 points per game. They had a 10-1 record this year, lost in the semifinals to Ouachita Christian and kind of a heartbreaker. I was able to watch that one. Really good game. They had 3,600 yards total offense this year. They had 3,000 yards passing, a 70% completion percentage, and 38 touchdowns to 4 interceptions the whole year. So pretty impressive stats there from Coach Blaize's offense and his kids at Vermilion Catholic. I got a chance to watch him at practice one day after we had lost, and pretty impressive what they do in the passing game. And I think one thing that gets left out in our area is Vermilion Catholic. I don't know if they get talked about enough for what they've been doing offensively the past 4 years. So I'm glad he's able to come on and show us all what they've been doing. So, Coach Blaize, if you want to share your screen, and we can kick this thing off.
All right. I appreciate the introduction there, Coach. We've had an excellent group of kids, and we have a really good staff, so it's a very good team effort to come together and, try and utilize the strengths of some of our kids. We've had a really good quarterback the last few years, talented group of skill guys, and then we're getting better on the offensive line each and every year. So definitely been pretty exciting. So today, what I'm going to share with you guys and talk about our screen game a little bit. So I'm going to go from the beginning here, see if it'll let me. There we go. All right. So one of the reasons we've had such a high completion percentage, we do specialize in throwing the screen. So hopefully by the end of this, we can bust a few of these out. So I'll show you a couple of clips, right? I don't know if I need to move this or not. It's just to me, it's one of the prettiest plays in sports when executed correctly. I'll go over the whys and the hows. But an image that's special to me and what makes the screen game special is this right here, right? So this was a 70-yard touchdown. You can see it was kind of a moment where everything that as an entire coaching staff we do was emphasized here. The airplane mode by the wide receivers, the offensive linemen taking pride in getting downfield, celebrating with your teammates. And, I mean, all those jerseys in the frame, there is one opposing player here. That's the hero. We talk about be the villain, stop the hero on the backside. There's the receiver cutting that off. So there's a really special play, and it's been something that's big for us, and it's something that we have utilized. So did a good job introducing me. I don't think I need to say anything else. So question you asked, well, why throw screens, right? Why do you guys like screens so much? So number one, we've tried to kind of get more involved in the run game, but we have been a pass first team. We've had a good quarterback. We've had some good receivers. And so by throwing screens, the advantage it provides for us is it often slows down people's pass rush. When I was a defensive coordinator at Como, we played against New Iberia Senior High when Rick Hudson was the head coach and the play caller there. And I just remember the nightmares it gave. You didn't want to send pressure because you would dial up pressure and you'd watch the screen get thrown over your head, or you didn't want to bring anybody from the edges or from the secondary because you knew if you came up and they were throwing the screen, you were conscious of it. It really affected the way you call plays as a defensive coordinator. I believe in getting your quarterbacks in a rhythm. So I call screens a confidence completion, right? It's an easy throw. It's an easy pitch and catch, whether you're throwing it to the back or throwing the wide screen or even throwing a bubble screen to get your quarterback in a rhythm. They subconsciously take their stats, right? Their first 3 throws, they miss their first 3 throws. It's in the back of their mind. Well, I'm 0 for 3 right now. I got to get it in gear. And then they press and those things. They're still high school kids. So these screens are easy throws, a chance to then, of course, love your sis, right? Your speed and space. So if you got an athlete out there in the perimeter, you can put the ball in his hands and get him out in space. That's a glorified run play, right? You're not chunking the ball 30 yards down the field. It's high percentage. A lot of times it is behind the line of scrimmage. It's just you hand the ball off because it's easy and because you got guys that can block it up. It's the same thing with your screen game. Now, probably the big thing we emphasize to our kids, especially our offensive line, is you get big guys on little guys. So those big guys are in the trenches, swap and spit. knocking guys out each and every play, right? So here's your chance to go pick on some of the little guys. So while those guys are in 7-on-7 and you're in inside, those things, now you get to take out some of that frustration. In this pass heavy set that we've been in, we've seen some crazy defenses. I know Coach Seth is a wing T guy, so I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir when you say you come out. You probably see something different every week. But we had a lot of people try and do different things to stop us from throwing the ball, and so oftentimes you get these umbrella 4 coverages, these 2 deep safeties, and all these things, and you get a very cushioned defense. Well, it's an easy way to attack, right? If everybody's going to back up, then you got to throw short. But now if I throw short and get linemen out into the play, then it can create a big play for us. So I have here safe long to go call. So you get into like a 2nd and 4, you take a sack on first down, the snap rolls behind your quarterback, something like that. It's a safe call to get some of those yards back, especially on 3rd and long, where people are going to play sticks coverage or eyes coverage, where they're going to back up, put their feet on the sticks, and then watch their receiver. Right, you can throw a screen out to the back or something out to the wide receiver. And in high school, these guys are not all 4.4 40s. You're not getting the dramatic fits from the safety like you would in the next level. Coach Tower, I know you've been a college offensive coordinator. I'm sure the safety play at that level is completely different than what you see at the high school level. So a lot of times, if you can just make one guy miss, you have here at the bottom, it's a potential touchdown. And even those long to go situations, it does create the opportunity for you to convert that first down. Or, if you got a good relationship with your head coach, or you are the head coach, you can, get that. It's 3rd and 18, you get 16 yards. Now it's 4th and 2. Okay, go for it. The momentum's on your side. You just deflated the defense. So a lot of advantages to the screenplay. So Ben did a great job describing our offense. There's just a couple quick advanced analytics. In the last 2 seasons, we have thrown 84 screens, and we have scored 10 touchdowns alone on those screen plays. But the big number, right, this is the one that OCs love and head coaches really love, is 0 turnovers. We have never turned the ball over via fumble or thrown an interception on a screen. Now, we've had some incompletions. Rarely have we gone negative on a screen, right? But we have 0 turnovers. It has not been a negative play for us. So we'll get short gains. Somebody makes a good play, or you get out there and the defense is planning for screens, so they have some kind of answer, right? So we have things built in just in case for that. But that 0 turnover is something that we take pride in with our screen game. So today what I'm going to cover is I'm going to look at 4 types of screens. We're going to look at 3 in particular. I'm going to scratch the now screen. I'll just briefly mention it. The now screen for us, it's a one-step stop route to any perimeter player. So I like the now screen if you're going to use stack formations where let me see if I can do this here. If I can switch to the whiteboard maybe. The stop share screen, the whiteboard. So if you get a stack formation, I'm gonna pee on the big guys here a little bit here and just put the little guys, right? You have some kind of stack formation. You got something that's run heavy over here. A simple now screen for us is just, let's say we're throwing it to the H. He just pops up and you get a most dangerous man block from that receiver. So you could have something called over here. You could have a wide zone, all right, whatever it is. You could have power. You could have counter going back that way. All right, well, if the defense, if you like your numbers, maybe the guy's on the roof, maybe they got this guy in a 5 technique, and they're telling the linebacker, hey, let the 5 go, and then you can play this gap here. Well, we can just turn and pop it out to him. That's our now screen. Not a whole lot to teach on it. My biggest thing with a now screen, we'll get in certain formations, maybe trips. We'll be in maybe a 2x2 doubles formation. The big thing with our now screen, I just tell the quarter, you always have it, right? You can give a signal, whatever it might be. You might point at your nose for now, might slap your hip for the H, those kind of things. So the receiver's eyes should be inside. So it should be an easy communication with the quarterback. The big thing I always just stress with the quarterbacks is not to check out of a pass play to throw a now screen, and not particularly to check out of a run play per se, but don't it's 3rd and 8. We got, something to the sticks or trail out to the sticks or something like that. And the guy's playing sticks. Well, I'm going to throw the now screen. You're doing what they want you to do there. So the bubble screen will be the first thing I go over. So just a bubble to your innermost wide receiver. be throwing at a 2x2 or 3x1 sets. You can throw it to the back out of the backfield. The jailbreak and wide screen's been our moneymaker. So screen's a perimeter player releasing the lineman out to the perimeter. And then the back screen, or some people call it a slow screen, it's a screen to a member of the backfield when we release linemen into a path. So they still have a count, but their path does not end up as wide. So we'll start with the bubble screen. Do y'all see the picture of you guys here? Or can y'all see the coaching points? I can actually do this. So it should help. Okay. So you have your screen catcher, right? So our footwork on a bubble screen is to take a J step with all of our receivers have outside foot back. So if you're on the right side, your right foot is back. We're depth guys on routes. Understand that there's some routes that we'll say steps. We'll say 4-step speed out, right? But most of our drop back stuff is by depth. So we have them all put their outside foot back, and it helps us time with our quarterback. So they take a J step, a crossover with their left, and then they get to depth, okay? And our coaching point, once you catch that bubble, is we tell them that bubbles go outside. When we teach bubbles on day one, you will hear us over and over and over again. Bubbles go outside, bubbles go outside, okay? Now, the wide receiver not catching the screen, okay, we will tell them pin to win. What we actually do with the pin technique is we open our hips and dare the DB to try and run inside. I'm going to show a clip in a second. You'll see it. When you open your hips, the DB's like, oh, he wants me to go here, and they try and beat you to the spot. And now you can throw a hip, or you can just get in his way, throw a boo block, and the receiver is allowed to get outside, okay? If you're the outside receiver, let's say we're throwing it in the trips, you look to pin, and if the DB shoots his bullet outside and tries to cut you off to the outside, then you pin to win, okay, or you route him out. So when you show the end, he shoots outside, you basically steer the bus, turn him outside, and you give a lane for your screen catcher to run through. More times than not, when we throw the bubble screen, we're looking at, we have a trips open set or a trips tight set. We have some kind of run play called, and we have the bubble screen behind it. A lot of people use the bubble as an RPO, and it's very effective in that way. So a lot of times when we throw that bubble screen, we're telling him, hey, you got to make one guy miss. And so when we have him take that outside path, it takes away that angle that the free safety is often trying to run. If he tries to run to get in between the outside receiver and the number 2 receiver to fill that alley, and he can work his way up the sideline, it creates a big play, right? Every play, you design every play to score, you draw the arrow all the way to the end zone. But for us, we use the bubble screen to make you play honest with our receivers out there. If we can get 8 to 10 yards on first down, we're ecstatic, right? If we score, we're even better. But what it does is it forces people to play the whole field, all right? It's a great RPO in the backside of things, and it like I said, it keeps people honest. So our offensive linemen, oftentimes we throw it with a run play. Now you see we have a sharp call. If your linemen have their hands in the ground in Louisiana high school, they can cut. So we just tell them to come off and cut. So all 5 guys will cut, and we'll just turn and throw the screen. So the quarterback's footwork, if he's going to his right, it'll be a catch. You'll see him open up and drill it. If he's going to his left, if he's a right-handed quarterback, we call it a shortstop release. He catches it. He basically shuffles his feet over and throws the bubble. So the one I'm going to show you here is going to the right. Now he carried out run fake. I'll talk about the drill work after the clip. He went to show the run fake. So you look at this picture here, right? There's a corner outside of number 22. So number 3 is soft on 27 on number 2 receiver. So what we're telling him right now is let's go pin number 3's guy, and let's make number 3 run the alley. Okay, let's make this guy run the alley inside out, and let's see if he can make a play. Let's see what kind of tackler he is. So, excuse me. Some of this is knowing your personnel. So I know number 3 was the quarterback for this particular team. He was very involved in playing offense, was very disinterested in defense. So this is almost a 200-pound kid right here, built like a running back. So let's see what he can do. So you watch. This is the pin to win footwork. You see how he just opens up his hips. He's got his right hip upfield. He is inviting him to take this angle here, right? And all he has to do is just catch him when he gets there. If he tries to spill over the top, all he has to do is shuffle his feet and the guy's blocked. Now out here, instead of coming and crack this receiver, we're going to take the outside guy because his path should take him outside. Now if you make him miss, you get to the end zone. Oops. So you watch him take a step. You should see a J step, and that's a lazy step by him. There's his crossover. Okay, now there's his catch. So there's the pin block. So we got everybody accounted for except the free safety. Now all you have to do, and this is on a first down play, is get positive yards here. Forget this isn't huddle. Sorry, gentlemen. So you got to get positive yards here. I'm going to master this eventually, I promise. Okay, so he gets positive yards. Now, made one guy miss. There he is. Now, see a great job by 22 there. We talk about reroute to out. So the guy shoots his bullet outside. And so what you see 22, if you see, we'll figure this out. You see 22 there. Now he just turns him back outside, runs him. Now you get a touchdown out of a bubble screen, right? So this was something that was meant to just chunk a few yards on first down, and it turns into a touchdown. So some easy drill work for the bubble screen. We call it the hoop to shoot run. We actually work a drill where we pin to win, and then an X block. So I'm going to pull up the whiteboard again just to kind of show you just a couple here. So I think it's a necessity that every wide receiver coach should have the receiving shoots, right? So what we do is we will put a hoop that the D linemen run here. We'll actually put the wide receiver on this side of the hoop. Okay, and so what he does, and we put this shoot almost to the sideline. Okay, and with no blocker, what we do no football at first, right? So he takes the J step and then he runs the path here. He visualizes catching the ball moving downhill and he accelerates through the shoot, right? So if let's say the corner gets off the block, we'll tell him cross on collision, cover the football with a cross, right? Duck your shoulder down there, reduce your surface, and get through the shoot. Okay, and so we work everything going to the right side first, then we come back and do it on the left side. Now, if you got a big receivers group and you got a second guy, if you're a school that goes both ways, the defensive coordinator's wandering around looking for something to do while you're on offense. This is an easy drill. It's not a hard throw. You can actually have the coach even stand right here. And our big coaching point is that J step tight to the hoop. All right, and then he needs to get downhill into his depth. The ball should be caught about right here, and he should be getting downhill into his shoot. So that's our hoop to shoot. Our pin to win, what we do is we clear this. So we'll put a wide receiver here, okay, a wide receiver here. Okay, we won't throw a ball to this guy because we just want him to run the pass. So this is ball. So what he'll do is he'll just jog out here, and you tell the DBs, okay, you got DB and DB here. So you tell them, all right, you get to pick, okay? You get to pick. You're either going to jump inside or you're going to jump back outside. So they both open their hips to pin them. So if he runs up here, you just got to basically get in his way and let this get outside of you. And then over here, it's the same thing, right? This guy goes to work outside, you route to out, and there's your path. Make the safety miss. Okay, if this corner jumps back inside, you pin him and bubbles go outside. He's always looking to get up to the sideline first. Now, the question I get, Coach, should we ever switch our blocks, blah, blah, blah. The only time I ever ask the wide receivers to switch on a bubble, say I got 3 wide receivers. All right, if you get some kind of stubby coverage, right, safety's out here, corners here, maybe the free's over here, number 2 is not going to be able to pin him, but number 1 can. So we would have him, we would just make an X call. We say me or you at the line. So you means you got him. Now you release upfield. You still look to pin, right? This guy's pinned and washed. And now you're still trying to get outside with your bubble. So that's our X block if we ever have to look at that. But not a lot of teams. We played maybe one team that runs a stubby, and we had another screen kind of ready for that particular coverage, so we didn't have to throw too many bubbles into that stubby coverage. So so that's bubbles, and then TTO for us as team takeoff. If you're going to commit to throwing screens, the first couple weeks for us of team takeoff is strictly a screen period. We throw every screen in our playbook over and over again on team takeoff. Good conditioning early in the season gets the linemen out in space, gets them out running, gets the receivers out running, gets the backs out, gives the quarterback easy throws to get into practice. So we can call it team takeoff, you can call it screen period, whatever you want. Always a great place to work the bubble. All right, so this is the meat and potatoes right here. So our wide screens in here, in quotes, I have it slammer or prison. The Los Angeles Rams use those terms at the line of scrimmage. I thought it was pretty good. So, jailbreak screen, right? So prison or slammer. So if you're the screen catcher, if you're the outside receiver, now we can throw the jailbreak screen to 1, 2, or 3. Okay. But let's start with the outside guys. So if you're outside, you want to take 3 hard steps up the field, right? You want to retrace your footwork. And then once the catch is made, you want to run butt side of the offensive line. We tell them follow the fat guys to glory, right? So if you're the inside receiver, your footwork will change. I'll show you some things here at the end just so you can see the different angles and how the footwork meshes up, right? So if you're the wide receiver not catching the screen, what you do is you count from the outside in. So if we're in right trips formation, if I'm the number 2 receiver, what I want to do is I want to count outside in. Okay, so the number you are from the dude catching the screen is the number you have. So if I'm number 2, I'm 1 from the screen catcher. So I have 1 from the sideline. If I'm the number 3 receiver, I have 2 from the sideline, softening the guy that's going to be over number 2. I try not to say you got this guy, because if they come out in something different, then they're looking around, well, wait, do I have the safety? Do I have me get somebody hit, right? So the way we make it easy, all right, I'm the number 3 receiver. That guy's catching the screen, 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? And now if you're a lineman, what you do is you count the number. So let's say we're on the play side. You count the number of wide receivers. So if I'm the right tackle and a right trips, I got 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to have number 3 from the sideline. That's who you got, right? That's a question I always get from high school. Who I got, coach, who I got. So what we tell them, you count the receivers, and that's your guy. Now, when our footwork for our offensive linemen, they're going to give a hard pass set. They're going to show, right? So we're going to tell them, we either tell them set, club, release, right? Or set, throw, release. So they'll set with their hands up. Everything's a good pass set. Everything looks just like one of our pass plays. If they can club, what they'll do is they'll close their hand and then push it into the small of the defensive lineman's back, almost a small swim move. It should stun them just a little bit. And then you release to your target guy, which in this case, if you're the play side tackle, we're in trips right, I have number 3 from the sideline. The play side guard has number of receivers plus 1. So if there's 3 receivers, you're going to have 4. Okay. So he's going to set, we're going to say set, throw, release here. All right. And he's going to work up to number 4. Now, this is where things get interesting for us, right? The center, we tell him you got to find work. Okay. You have wide receiver plus 2, but that might be the free safety, might have been a backside linebacker, depending on some crazy defense you get. So he's going to set club. He's going to release in tandem with that guard. And what he's doing is he's releasing up this path with the guard, looking for work upfield. He never wants to work back. We have a guy that works back. Okay. And so he's scanning. He might get the free safety. That might be his guy. He might take off down the field and everybody's laying on the ground behind him. And now he's just what we call the escort, right? He prepares the runway for airplane mode and he escorts the receiver to the end zone. Okay. Now the backside guard is the trash man. Okay. So, and I stole this term from Coach Tower. I'm glad he's in here, or the rat killer, right? So there's always that one kid, who kind of figures out what's going on. He smells the rat. So he releases, he does his move. Oh, that was easy. Screen. And he turns around. You have to have somebody for one of those guys so he doesn't get into your wall while you're throwing the screen. So when he gets into what he does, he's going to set, throw. When he releases, after about 3 or 4 yards upfield, he's going to turn back and look for the rat. Okay, look for who smelled the rat. So he's looking for the trash, right? Now, our big coaching point there is you cannot come back to the line of scrimmage. So what you don't want him to do is turn, see somebody, run full speed, decapitate somebody, and you have a screen 40 yards down the field, get called back because you got an illegal block, illegal crackback block. So we tell them airplane mode. What they'll do, you'll see them, they'll actually turn, hold their hands all the way out, right? And then they'll just kind of turn. We tell them don't be an a-hole on the block, right? So you'll see them turn, just kind of hip check them. They'll put their hands up and just get in the way. Or we do what's called a boo block. They'll run up, make a noise, and when the kid flinches, it stops them from decapitating and getting a penalty. And you can't see the backside tackle here. I don't know why it's not fitting on the screen. But the backside tackle is going to heavy pass it and lock onto that guy because you don't want your quarterback throwing a screen to his right and getting hit on his blind side because we decided to release 5. So the backside tackle is going to take a deep pass set and try and work that guy on him inside out. If it's a pass rushing end, work him inside out. If it's an outside linebacker, take an inside set and then try and work whatever's coming outside, and then just lock onto that guy. Don't get your quarterback hit. Now, depending on the screen, the way our quarterbacks, what we traditionally do, let's say we swing the back away, he might look at the back, right? He might take a 3-step drop and then drift a little bit. He kind of has some freedom depending on the call. So what we like them to do is we like them to keep his shoulders pointing upfield for everything to look like a regular pass play, retreat just a little bit, and then throw it into the window in between 2 and 3 where the wide receiver can bend it up. So, and I'm going to show you a clip of that here. I got a couple clips of this. So this would be trips right, prison. So I'm going to try to click this a whole bunch of times. So right now, if I am the number 2 receiver, you know, you see that guy's playing that inside out man technique, right? So this is a dream come true for us because he's never going to smell the screen coming. So what we tell him a lot of times, sir. So what we tell them a lot of times is to work. You'll see him push upfield and then work out to that guy, right? You'll see number 3 push upfield and work out to number 2. So right now the tackle's starting his count. So you got a corner, a safety that's 1-2 from the sideline. So the guy standing at about the 35, that's going to end up being his guy. So now the guard's in a situation where, well, I have that linebacker. Now the center, well, who do I have? I got this backside linebacker, right? There'll be a deep safety. I can maybe work to him. So that's why we tell him he's a work guy. Look for work. So let's play this clip here. So there's his 3, his retrace, catch it behind the lineman, work off the butt side, and then there you go. There's your escort, right? And then you see the receiver on the backside there do his best not to get the penalty, right? This guy down at the bottom of the screen, you know, that's a loaf right there. We would have some issues in film, but now you see he catches up, just working to that guy, right? We call him the villain, right? When I was a defensive coordinator, we called that guy the wolf or the hero, the backside of pursuit that's going to turn and take the high angle. So you got to be the villain. You got to stop the hero from making the play. So, you know, one of the things about a screenplay is it gets the whole team involved. So you can actually tell a kid, hey, look, you know, we want you, you know, you matter on this play. You know, we were down the field. And if 22, you know, gets off of that block, he could make the tackle. So, so a pretty good example right there. So I'm going to see if I'm going to stop share this. I'm going to go to Huddle real quick. Let's see, share screen. And I'm going to show you, should be over here. Let me see here. Where's whole? I just think I could share my whole screen on this deal. I'm just gonna share my screen. If I can escape this, I'll come back to it. I'll just come back to it at the end. I don't want to run out of time. So, I'll show you a couple. I'll show you a play where the guy on the backside doesn't come off the ball. What ends up happening for us is he ends up, he ends up making the play. So, easy drill work for the jailbreak screen, 3-on-2 with the wide receivers so they can see who they're blocking. A lot of reps. Okay, a lot of reps in team takeoff, a lot of reps in your team periods. And then we have a drill that I call the Shimmy Drill. And so what we do, share whiteboard, what we'll actually do is we'll take, so your coach will stand right here with the football and you have the wide receiver stand about 4 or 5 yards from you. What we'll do is we'll actually underhand the football to him, okay? And then I will follow it. So I'll underhand the football and then start walking to him. What that makes him do is he has to catch it, and then he does what we call a shimmy. You'll see him just take his shoulder and avoid you or turn his shoulder and shimmy away from you. Because what happens if you throw enough of these, and from experience, right, first down, third downs, you can hear, especially like we scrimmaged St. Ed's this year, every time we got into trips, it was watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen. So these linebackers get really keen on scraping to get over there. So let's say they're in some kind of box coverage here, right? So I'll work up to here. I'm going to work up to here. Well, the tackle in his count right now has this free safety set club, and he's working up to here. Well, the guard's going to have this linebacker. Well, the linebacker turns and runs like a bat out of hell to make a play on the screen. So what happens is we throw it. He's running full speed this way. And all we have to do is just shimmy him, and now the guard gets to become a work guy. So as he's coming back, the linebacker's running full speed. It's hard for him to break down and make this tackle because you're working back into him. So you shimmy him, and now you get butt side of your lineman, and you're in a great position. So, people freak out because, that linebacker's, keying on screen. He's going to turn and run out into the play. Well, if you can work that shimmy drill, then your receivers become comfortable seeing a flash of a different color as he comes back to the screen. Common mistake I find when we first start teaching our young kids is they will work up for the block, and then they'll take their 3 steps, and then they'll stop. They'll just stop right here, and then to make the catch, because they're not used to catching the football moving back. That's why I underhand it and basically chase behind it so they get used to catching it, walking back, and making that shimmy. So now if they stop, what happens is these linemen are on a rhythm here, and there's your wall of bodies for you. You need to be over here, but you're making the catch outside of the number 2 receiver here, and now you get stuck, right? And now he's trying to bow it back into here, and you're giving this linebacker an angle to scrape over the top and make a play on you. So you really emphasize in these jailbreak, these tunnel screens, whatever you want to call it, of them getting back into here. Okay, clear that. Share. Okay, so share. And the PowerPoint. All right, so that's the shimmy drill. Very big one if you're going to throw jailbreak screens. Okay, let's see if I can get this back working. So a slow screen, okay. So our screen catchers on our slow screen, it's our tailback, or sometimes we'll throw it to our H-back. We've even thrown it to our tight end. I'll tell you this, whatever you call them, you can call it branches of the military, Army, Navy, Air Force, whatever. What you can do is you can change the screen catcher and block the same rules. So we've actually thrown the screen to our tight end. We'll get in 12 personnel with the tight end wing. We've thrown the screen to the wing. You can say, well, how are we going to block it? Well, you block it like whatever you call the screen. So if you call it, roam, okay, you just block it like roam. So they block the same rules, and now you're just changing the dudes you throw it to. So for our screen catchers, if we do a lot of 50 protection. So what we did a little bit more of this year is we would swing them and then put them back behind the lineman. But if you're somebody who does 60 and 70 protections, right, and your back does step up in protection, then he can step up behind the lineman and then fit in whatever window you want him to fit in. So show a slow spot route, settle behind the lineman. Wide receivers, we tell them if it's man, sell a vert, right? If it's zone, push to the second level. If you're in motion, carry out your fake, right? And then it's the same rules, except now you are going to block players inside of the wide receiver for the lineman. So set club. All right, if it's 2x2, who's the first guy inside of the wide receivers? Oh, it's this linebacker. That's my guy, right? Set club. Yeah.
About 10 minutes.
Got it. Set club, work up to the inside guy number 2, right? Center still becomes a work guy. And then, of course, trash man, rat killer, set club, turn back for the D lineman pursuing the play. And then backside tackle, hard pass set, invite the end up the field. Okay, so this here, we did like a jet motion here. We jet motioned our slot receiver, fake the speed sweep to him, and then just dump it down to the back. And then there's his path. Right now, hey, gotta let your dude make a play here. Okay, now you're out in the open field. Go ahead and make somebody miss. I remember correctly, that was a 3rd down call, right? 3rd and short, and we still threw the screen. So, special screens. I got some some cut ups of this, so I'll show this to y'all. I'll talk a little less here. The double screen, right? Been pretty effective to us. Quick way to get the ball to your back. Any kind of tailback motion and throw in the middle screen. A counter screen if you're a GT counter, and then a tight end or H-back screen like I just mentioned. So this is a draw up with a counter screen. If you run GT counter, what you tell your kids is your guard and tackle are still going to pull. You're still going to pull kick, still going to pull wrap. Right now you tell the center, you got to go get number 1. Okay, so our rules on counter for us is IOI, inside over to inside, right? So as he takes his IOI path, he flattens out and goes take number 1's guy, right? So you can reduce your single receiver split, right? And if you run enough counter, you can threaten people with this. So I got a pretty disgusting clip here. Watch our center get out in this cornerback. So what you see, and the reason this is a good play against disciplined teams, right, where when these 2 guys pull, this guy's going to squeeze and heel line on the GT, right? This is a great play to go against disciplined teams. So now you throw it out and watch this center on the corner right there. Okay, you got big guy and little guy crime right there. The guy never saw it coming. Might have been a penalty, right? What you see, is watch the linebackers fit because he gets a GT read. See, these linebackers are going with the pullers, and now we just dump it out to our wide receiver. So, I mean, just an easy little deal, GT counter screen. The double screen, I've heard this called Tar Heel. I've heard it called a couple of things. Simply put, with the double screen, you want to read the defensive end. If your quarterback's right-handed, I recommend running the swing to the right because it's an easy reset and throw the tunnel screen backside. So you take, if you're in 2x2, right, and I'm going to show a clip of it. If the end does anything up the field, just give it to the back. Tell your receivers double crack, get your lineman out in space. I put this clip. It's only like a 5-10 yard gain because this one he actually did it right. We had some plays where the back obviously made somebody miss and it was great, but it was the wrong read. So if you watch what he does here, the end goes charging straight up the field. So this is and this is actually our backup quarterback. So this is a very great moment in film for us. So what you see is the end goes straight up field. Just get it out to the back. All right, and now he can go ahead and make a few yards, and you can go to the backside. If that end decides to go and chase your back, you reset and throw the heel screen back the other way. So good teaching moment, right? The big clip we show them when we show this play to our kids is, okay, is that defensive end any threat right now to go and take that running back? And the answer is no. So I should get a crack block here, a crack block here, and this tackle stops to block this linebacker, but he really should work all the way out to the perimeter. See, he stops and takes that guy. He needs to keep working. That's his guy that actually makes the tackle. So, okay, could have actually been better. All right. This is my favorite. I love to get into 20 personnel or 12 personnel or jet people across. I love using motions in the screen game. Number one, with high school kids, their eyes naturally are going to go to see what's going on. If you hand off the speed sweep, if you hand off the reverse, if you use the orbit motion, right, these things can be pretty good for you. So, this one here, we're doing a lateral motion with the second back and then coming back and throwing the middle screen here. Now, I didn't mean for all these plays to be against this team right on the pretty field, but it is a good wide. We did throw a lot of screens against them. But you see that the best part of that is if you watch, all of those kids ran over to that guy because we had thrown it to him earlier in the game. So motion that guy out, run flood, run stick, run whatever's in your pat double slants with him out there. Right, you throw that enough times, then people get tired of it, and they start running out to make a play on it. So watch, this right here, right? You see, you got the pass rush. Now everybody throws by. Look at this guy got his back to the play. Has no idea the quarterback still has the ball. He's going out to make a play on 8, and this linebacker is going out there to make a play. Now you just throw the screen behind it, and then this is what every running back wants to see. Every running back wants to turn around and see a bunch of big guys blocking for him. And then again, we talk about why are you important in this play? Look who makes the play, 19. Right, so one does his job down here and runs him off and keeps his attention, right? But see, he stops to see what's going on in the play. So 19 makes the play. So always a teachable moment there. And of course, the screen and go. If you throw enough screens, you can leak this in. I didn't put any clips of this on here, but you just tell give your lineman a call, Fox, stay, whatever it is, right? And then you show the screen, stalk and go out here, stalk and go on your landmark, backside with a clear out, pretty easy stuff there. So, and then I talked about changing the screen catcher, right? So I'm gonna draw this. I'm gonna show a couple clips, and then my time will be up here. But like, let's say you want to throw the tunnel screen to the number 2 receiver. So what we tell them, let's say we're in trips. All right. Well, the count's gonna change. So let's say they're a team that plays something like this. Right, the linebacker's way in here. I could still throw my tunnel to the outside guy, but an easy block would be to block him with him, and then let my tackle work up to the free safety. So what we would do is he would show like an arrow. He would show like an arrow for 3 yards, put his foot in the ground, and then leak back into the wall. And then there he is working into his screen. And then a personal favorite of mine, I showed the bubble first. If you're somebody who throws the bubble screen a good bit, right, you can go, let's say they're here, wherever the free safety might be. You can have this guy work inside out here like he's trying to fight across for a bubble. These kids don't know the difference. Inside out here. Now he shows the bubble screen, and everybody commits to stopping the bubble, puts his foot in the ground, and comes back across. And now the tackle's got number 3. The guard's got number 4. Center's looking for work. And then now he's into the tunnel there, for an easy touchdown. So changing the screen catcher has been very beneficial to us. So I think my whole screen sharing, or is it just still the whiteboard?
Just the whiteboard right now.
It's just the whiteboard. Okay, I'm gonna show a couple of these clips here, and then we'll be on our way. So let's see if I can share screen. This should be Google Chrome. All right, let's see. So this was a good view of the tunnel screen with a little motion, right? So we bought the wide receiver across. So what you're gonna see here is you're gonna see a really good job at the rat killer. So that'll be this young man right here. He does a good job as the rat killer. So you're gonna see the receivers work out. There's your path. There's the throw bys. Boom. Not a devastating block by this lineman right here, right? But he gets the job done. He knocks his guy over. And now he gets in. Now, guy who makes that tackle was the cornerback on the backside of the play. So it's a great teaching moment for us to show him. Now, watch our rat killer, right? Watch him on this play. So he sets, he clubs, he works. Now watch him turn around. Now he's just looking back right now. This one he should have got a penalty because he comes back and pops the kid. All you got to do is just get in that guy's way. Okay, that was one of the interior linemen he can make that play on. And then the other one I want to show you, the same thing from a sideline view. If I can move this. This was we played Riverside Academy, all-state defensive end, 8th grader. That was 230 pounds, and Manimal. We opened the game with back-to-back screens. So the first thing we did was we faked the reverse to our backup quarterback, popped up and threw the back screen here. So they got guys charging all over the field. Good eye manipulation here by our quarterback. And then we come back the next play, motion back across, and throw the tunnel. If you look at the lineman right here, right, there's guys everywhere. There's guys trying to spill over the top for the motion. They're trying to adjust in their formation. And these linemen are trying to get to the quarterback. Now it's a walk-in touchdown. So, the common things I hear from a lot of people is, I never know when there's a good time to throw a screen. I don't know, pretty much all the time to me. Gotcha. But when you're playing an aggressive defense, that is definitely one way to slow those guys down. We've had a lot of, got a lot of miles out of it. It's been really good to us. So, all right. Does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to ask? Anything they want to add? Comment? So I want to add this before I go, right? So I know Coach Seth is a wing T guy. I'd like to see if I can share screen here. This is something I saw. I was watching a high school game on TV a while back. I thought this was pretty filthy. But you had a wing T team. So they had their regular set. It was tight end, wing, the fullback. So what they did is they actually took their wing, went to the single receiver over here. They actually the issue you have is accounting for that overhang. Usually somebody right here, when you motion away, he just sits back in the sand. So what they actually did to throw a screen to this receiver is that instead of motioning him to orbit this way, they motioned him flat, and it looked like he was running an arrow route, which took him in man coverage with him, and he was able to block this receiver. He came out, and then there's your path. And then what he did was he kind of faked the quick toss this way. He pulls up and then throws the screen into the wall there. So just something for your toolbox. I know no spread guys get to have all the fun sometimes, but definitely something that can benefit you, especially if somebody's pinned their ears. But I just know with the wing T, you're telling your defensive linemen don't go bolting upfield to get trapped. So definitely something you can add to the toolbox there. So
awesome. Like to thank everyone for tuning in, for watching. Also, later on in the week, I know we have Coach Chowery who's talking about the RPOs and his attachments with it. And then, guys, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, to the Twitter, to the Facebook, everything like that, and really try and get this thing as big as we can. I know, other states have what we're doing right now. Other areas have it, and I think that Southwest Louisiana is one that definitely needs one. New Orleans has their whole deal. The North Louisiana has it. Baton Rouge has it. And I don't see why we shouldn't either. So share it, subscribe to everything, and get it out there because there's some good content coming soon. I know we're going to have Patrick Toney, defense coordinator from UL, on at one point. Tommy Rybacke from Nichols, and Pete Golding from Alabama will all be doing different Zoom clinics at different times. So I'm sure Seth will put it on Twitter and Facebook, everything like that, and we'll get that to you guys as soon as possible. This is recorded, so it will be up on the YouTube channel, I'm sure, at some point either tonight or tomorrow. So if you want to go back and look at it, feel free to do so. And if anyone has any questions for Coach Blaize after this clinic, shoot me an email or a text, and I'll get you his number and his email address, and we can go from there. Thank you guys again for tuning in, and I hope to see y'all on Thursday, right, Coach Towery?
Yes, sir. Thursday, 5 o'clock.
Thursday, 5 o'clock for Coach Towery's RPO talk. Thank y'all, guys. Have a good week.
Great job, Travis.
Good job,
Thank
Travis.
you, Coach. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me.